Hi, welcome to my poster on my research plan to investigate affordances in the upper and lower visual fields. According to Gibson's theory of affordance, when we look at an object, we automatically process the potential actions we can make with the object, even when we don't intend to act. A common finding is that reaction times are faster when judging an irrelevant property of a graspable object, such as whether it's upright or inverted, when the response hand is on the same side or compatible with the handle. This has been attributed to affordances, however some argue that these effects are a result of spatial compatibility instead. To separate spatial compatibility from affordances, researchers have included conditions where participants judge object colour, as this relies solely on low-level visual processing, which shouldn't trigger affordances. Humans are more efficient at reaching and grasping in the lower visual field. Therefore, there may be a lower visual field preference for affordances, and this remains untested. So the aims of our study are to investigate the contribution of affordances to this handle compatibility effect online, and to see if affordances differ in the upper or lower visual fields. We will conduct 3 studies online built in Gorilla. In all experiments, participants will respond by either pressing P with their right hand or Q with their left hand. In study 1, participants will complete 4 blocks of 80 trials. 2 blocks responding to whether the object is upright or inverted, and 2 blocks responding to whether the object is red or green. Each block begins with instructions like this, and then after fixation, an object appears at the centre and participants will have 1500 milliseconds to respond. The correct answer here is normal, so the participant presses Q, and this is an example of a handle compatible trial. Study 2 is the same as study 1, however objects will only appear for 100 milliseconds. So here's an example trial. So the object was inverted, so the correct answer is to use the right hand to respond. As the handle was pointing to the left, this is an example of an incompatible trial. The point of study 2 is to ensure that affordances still contribute to the effect when the object is presented very briefly, as stimuli will be briefly presented in study 3 to prevent eye movements. So in study 3, participants will only respond to whether the object is upright or inverted. They will fixate either at the top or the bottom of the screen, and the object will briefly appear at the centre. So that's an example of an object appearing in the lower visual field and compatible with the hand of response. Following data exclusion, we plan to conduct a series of 2x2 repeated measures ANOVAs. In studies 1 and 2, we expect tasks to interact with handle compatibility, with a response advantage in compatible conditions when the task is to judge object orientation, but not when the task is to respond to the colour. In study 3, we expect a response advantage for compatible conditions when objects are presented in the lower visual field, but not when objects are presented in the upper visual field. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to discussing this plan at the conference.